Now, sticking with West Virginia education, when a parent or guardian is serving in the military, the children of that soldier undergo a lot of life changes, like moving to another state and another school. Well, one local elementary school is considered a Purple Star school, meaning they have a plan in place to make military children feel comfortable in the transition to a new environment. Brushfork Elementary School is recognizing those children by observing April as Military Child Month. During this month, students are placing purple flags in front of the school. These flags have the name of a soldier that is related to or knows a student at the school, and students can also include messages on them and their name.
It just is a wonderful reminder that there are so many people, once someone goes into the service and is deployed, that have to deal with the deployment, not just the soldier itself.
The school is asking the community to purchase purple flags for $2 each in honor of a loved one that is served. The money raised from the purple flag sale will go toward thanking local veterans that come through the school's morning drop-off car line. Students and staff there will be passing out food and coffee to the students' military family members.